Now for the last of the 4 H's of building belief, highlighting that it's easy. And you're in luck because this one actually is pretty easy to get your head around. So the idea of highlighting that it's easy really comes down to the notion of something called priming. Most people have no idea how susceptible we are to influence around us. Our perception of anything can drastically impact our results, consciously and subconsciously. There's one example where they took a bunch of students and they had them come up an elevator to take a survey. So they would read a short passage, it was about 3 paragraphs, talked about this person called Person A, and it just described that person essentially, told them stories. And the questions that the students were asked was, how would you describe this person? Now in that experiment, they took half of the people and gave them a hot drink to hold while in the elevator. So the instructor said, do you mind holding this for me? And then started playing around on their clipboard. The other half got a cold drink, which was an iced soda that had, was condensing and cold. Well, the people that were given that hot coffee, about 80% of them described that character as warm, friendly, and kind. In the exact same 3 passages, a big chunk, nearly 80% of the people who were given a cold drink described that character as distant, aloof, and cold. So we are hyper susceptible to the influence around us and how it impacts our perception and our results. Another example of this is, and it's statistically shown, that if people put down their gender or their race on an exam, they'll actually perform worse on that exam if they belong to a different group. So women or people who are minorities, if they put that they're a minority on the exam, they'll believe the stereotypes themselves and perform worse. So perceptions are really, really important here. And if somebody adds the perception that the thing that you're doing is difficult, or worse, they make it look difficult while they're doing it, you're going to have a much more difficult time building the confidence to actually execute on that thing. So, in order to execute something confidently, you can't think that it's difficult. So you don't want to have the negative emotion and negative perception of something being difficult attached to it. Well, the opposite then fixes the problem. If something seems and feels easy, and we have less negative emotion attached to that thing, we're going to have more fun and confidence executing that thing. If it's easy and it's fun, it gets done. I'll say that one more time for you. If it's easy and it's fun, it gets done. So how do we make it look easy and how do we highlight that it's easy? Well, there's really 2 simple things that you can do. Number 1 is just talk about the fact that it's easy while you're doing it. And that's as simple as doing it and then going, did you see how easy that was? Or, man, that was really easy. So if you just do that more, you'll have a much easier time convincing someone that it's easy because they'll notice that. It's the same as the old, I want you to look around the room and look for red. And people, look at all the red things and you go, awesome. Now I want you to tell me everything that was green in the room without looking. Well, if they were looking for red, they're going to see red. They're not going to see green. So if you're talking about how easy it is, they're naturally going to look themselves at how easy it is. The other thing that you can do is actually a sales tactic called trial closing, where you literally just ask them if they agree with you that it's easy. and in sales, that might be, I'm sure you'd agree that needs to change, or I'm sure you'd agree that's amazing. All of these various closes are designed to get someone to agree. And why that works in sales is because if someone agrees with something, they generally then feel that thing. So if you say, oh man, it's hot, people go, yeah, it is hot. Or, oh man, the government's doing a terrible job. Yeah, it is. And people will generally get angry if you want them to agree with something that makes them angry. Well, if you want someone to agree that something's easy, you can literally just go, is that easy? And more often than not, they'll go, yeah. And you'll watch the physiology. When they go, yeah, their shoulders will go back, they'll stand up a little bit taller, and they'll feel more energized and confident just by agreeing that it's easy. So the 2 things that you can do to highlight that it's easy to make someone more confident in what they're doing is to A, talk about the fact that it's easy while you're doing it, and B, ask them if it's easy or trial close. And if you can do those two things, you will be amazed at how easy it actually becomes for them. So best of luck.